Hey, I'm Noah, and I have Tourette syndrome. I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome at 16 years old. It was, I believe, in January of my junior year, right after winter break. I've had Tourette syndrome since I was 5 years old. I was born with it, but I've been showing symptoms. And I also suffer with obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyper disorder. Um, I suffer with a sleeping disorder and I suffer with an anxiety disorder. All of these things, in my opinion, just add up to Tourette's syndrome. Um, Tourette's is not an easy disorder to live with. It's one of the harder ones that I've ever dealt with. One of the harder things I've ever dealt with. Tourette's syndrome is a neurological disorder that it affects the center of your brain, um, and pretty much what it is what it's believed to be is either too much or too little dopamine entering the center of the brain, causing involuntary movements and sounds called tics. Um, Tics is spelled Tics, not Ticks. Um, and uh, the OCD part is a little bit different for me. The way that it's been explained to me is I have obsessive compulsive without the disorder. So it does not consume me. Um, it I do have obsessions and I do have compulsions to get rid of those obsessions, but they're not, I guess, prevalent enough to be called OCD. Um, I have attention deficit hyper disorder. That is a huge part of Tourette syndrome, but it's just a separate diagnosis. Pretty much, if you're speaking to me, I will look away from you, and sometimes I won't hear what you're saying, even if I am actually looking directly at you. And at times, I'll get up and walk away if you're talking to me without realizing that you were talking to me, even if I knew we were in a conversation. Um, that's a difficulty, but that's just kind of how I live. Um, and I'm also a big help to my church, I believe, and from what I've been told. Um, Before I entered my church, they had never met somebody like me. And I've brought a little bit of difference into the youth group, even though my youth group is probably one of the most diverse youth groups I've ever seen. We have weird people, quiet people, loud people, normal people. We have multiple people with disabilities. Um, I have a diverse youth group, but nobody has ever experienced something quite like Leroy, which is what I called my Tourette's to explain it to my little sisters. Leroy, from what I've explained, is it's just a dude inside of me. Every 5 to 10 seconds, he tries to come out. You can't see my feet, but my feet never stop moving. Right now, my toes are moving. Usually, if I'm sitting in a chair or I'm standing, I roll my ankles and I'll sway back and forth. And Leroy is a jerk. He's not a nice guy. He flips off pretty girls and he flips off cool people. I met one of my friends by touching her with my middle finger. Um, he's a jerk. He doesn't care if you got enough sleep last night. He doesn't care if that's your girlfriend, if that's your best friend. He doesn't care. He's gonna make their life hard. Um, and Leroy, yeah, he's a jerk. He he doesn't he doesn't care if you're asleep, if you're awake, if you're having fun, if you're bored. He's gonna do whatever the heck he wants. And it's I think one thing that I am hoping from this video is to talk to younger people who have Tourette syndrome. You're gonna grow up and you're gonna be successful. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It doesn't matter what a psychologist tells you, a neurologist tells you. It doesn't matter what your parents tell you. You're gonna be successful. Tourette syndrome doesn't. It never keeps people from being successful. Um, and if it does, that's the person. That's not the syndrome. Um, Tourette syndrome, it's an obstacle, but if you look at a runner's obstacles, They raise up and up and up as they jump over them, over them, over them. And Tourette syndrome, I want to say, is the lowest one because it's always with you. It's always with you. I'd even say maybe it's just a weight on your ankle. It's always with you. It will never go away. Um, but it will also never keep you from being who you want to be. Um, I want to be a special education teacher. Tourette syndrome isn't going to keep me from doing that. It may make it harder for me to get accepted as a teacher in a job, but it will never actually keep me from actually getting that job one day. Um, and I think kids just need to realize that Tourette syndrome is not the end of the world. You're going to get this diagnosis, and for some people, it's going to be like a punch to the face, like, ow, that hurt. I don't want this. Go away. You're going to push people away. You're going to push friends away, and you're just going to want to be alone because you're embarrassed. Well, don't be embarrassed. Find a friend. Say, listen, this is what's going on. I have this disorder called Tourette syndrome. I do involuntary movements and sounds. And once you do that, that friend will guide you in acceptance, really. It doesn't sound like it's possible for somebody who doesn't understand what you're going through to guide you, but it is. I have so many friends who, when I say, oh, well, Leroy's just acting up today, he's being a butthole, I'm not going to go out. They say, well, guess what? I'm on my way. Get your clothes on. Let's get out the house. They don't care, okay? Because they want to be, they want to be your friend. And I know my hardest thing for me is taking my friends in public. Absolute hardest thing because I don't care if people are looking at me. I mean, I do, but I really don't because I'm used to it. But when somebody looks at them and says, wow, how can you let your friend act like that? It's kind of like, ouch, dude. Like, why you got to judge my friend for something that I'm doing? Come up to me and say, hey, knock it off. And I will explain to you, hey, I have a disorder. But once you come up to my friend and say, well, how could you let your friend act like that? That's when I have a problem because then you're targeting my friend. You're being rude to my friend. And that's never okay. Um, but Tourette syndrome is, I mean, like I said, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. And for anybody watching this that thinks that it's gonna be the end of the world, it's just stop that thinking right now. Because if you're out here telling other people in the world, I have Tourette syndrome, I'm a victim, that's what they think of all of us. They think that we all are victims. I'm not a victim. I am not a victim. In fact, I've been told multiple times that I am an inspiration because I walk around with my head up high saying, I have Tourette syndrome, but there is nothing wrong with me because there's nothing wrong with me. I am me. My name is Noah Michael Johnson. I'm 17 years old, born on July 22nd, 1998. I'm me. Tourette syndrome is me. Leroy is me. It doesn't matter what other people tell you because you are you and you are all you need. All right? So what I'm going to say right now is have fun with it. Make a name, all right? If you already have a name for your Tourette's, just go ahead and comment it down below because I want to hear them. I want to hear other awesome names that people name their tics, all right? Mine's name is Leroy, and he's a jerk. He's a bully, all right? I want to know the name of your Tourette's. I want to know characteristics of your tics. Are they jerks or are they nice? Do they say nice things like, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're beautiful? Because that'd be awesome. If that's, I mean, I wish I had a tic that I could just walk around everybody and be like, you're beautiful, I love you, you're awesome, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know, that'd be great. But that's not how it is for me. Most of my tics are either self-inflicting tics, like I hit myself, I shake my head, stick my tongue out at people, or flip them off. That's my tics. All right, Leroy's a butthole. It's not anything new. Um, but I want to know the name of your tics, and I want to know the characteristics of your tics. All right, thank you.